What am I looking for in a subject to deal? We don't look for deals. We look for people with problems. Who are we? We are the problem solvers. So, we all need to get into our minds that we're looking for people who have problems, and we're here to figure out how we are going to come up with a solution to solve their problem. Their problem in our case is a property they don't want or they don't need. When somebody has a problem, they are motivated. So, there are many reasons they could be motivated. Could be a financial issue, a job, a divorce, bad money habits, maybe they hate their neighbor, or health issues. To be great at this business is up to you to get very good at listening, maybe reading between the lines. Now let's talk about this subject. What are you looking for in a deal? What am I looking for in a deal? This is a very common question I get from investors. I have said this before in past lessons, maybe two. Don't go out and buy a foreclosure list unless you are willing to bring all the money to make the payments current and cover the attorney fees too. By the time an owner is on any foreclosure list, they are way behind on their payments. This is really too late to help them by using a subject to. But they may have other properties you can ask about that are not on the foreclosure list yet. I have found many subject to deals when I'm looking for discounted properties. We reach the seller from our marketing list. I'll work into the conversation what their story is, what is it, and why they are willing to sell. Many times their stories will open the opportunity to be a subject to deal. So listen to them talk and then listen some more. But are there any occasions where a list does work on a subject to deal? Absolutely, yes. I personally like to use out of area owner list. What is an out of area owner list? This is a list of properties from the county tax rolls, and we're looking for the owners where their mailing address is different from the property address. I have some students who buy out of area list for their farm area. They provide it to their VA, virtual assistant, in England. And that VA will call the out of area property owners with local properties in my client's farm area. This works very well because the English accent is unusual and not common. When was the last time you had someone call you with an English accent? Yes, we all get calls from people from countries where English is not their first language. And many of us are uncomfortable with thinking the call is nothing but a sales call. We just want to get off the call. But if you have a VA with an English accent, many people stay on the call to see what the call is about. What to say or what to tell your VA to say to owners. I'm a local investor looking to buy houses. Do you have any houses that you would like to sell? Or you can also ask about the property on the list. Hi, I'm Roger. I'm calling about your house at 5208 Judith. Would you have any interest in selling your property? The goal here is to start building some sort of relationship with the seller. If you have a VA on the call, you want them to set the hook. See if they can set a time up to have you call the seller and start to build that relationship. In any case, it is your goal to meet with the seller and see the house. If the house is rented, you want to drive by the house just to see it from the outside. Many times the seller does not want anyone to disturb the tenant, or they do not want the tenant to know they may be looking at selling the house. If the seller does not want to sell the house, ask if they have any other houses they would like to sell. This is important. Many sellers have that one problem property. I've heard of sellers saying this pretty often. If I had a match, I would set it on fire. I'm just done with that house. This is the best phrase you could ever hear. Now solve their problem. That could be a great subject to deal. So, what am I looking for in a deal? Little or no money out of pocket. A seller who is just done and looking for someone to take the property off their hands. What am I not looking for in a deal? A seller who tries to drag me into their issues. That could be an issue with their spouse or their ex-spouse, with the law, issues with their kids, someone to blame all their problems on. In closing, you need to know you are going to have some sort of relationship with the seller for the life of the loan. That could be years and years. For me, I believe life is too short to have to do business with a crazy person unless you're married to them. So, be careful when you're interviewing the seller and look for all the flags, good or bad.